diving underneath and mobbing up the 1 foot wide staircase and just swimming in an ocean of violence and fire and blood and gore and just destroying everyone. Because guess what competes with a KV broadside shotgun in a Vondel staircase?
Nothing.
Another KV broadside, and that's all. Because there's nothing you can do if you don't have one.
For ad-free episodes, as well as early access and bonus episodes, check out our Patreon. Free trials are available.
Activision devs do not play their own game.
3,000 devs can't figure out how to add a reconnect feature to a AAA title, I guess. I don't know.
Because Infinity Ward doesn't tell their consumers anything.
Maybe that'll take some of the sweats away from Shoot House.
You can cope about that, for sure.
Thanks for tweeting, at least. Thanks for doing more than Infinity Ward has done. They just keep tweeting about the soccer bundles in the store.
Things that are bad. We've got a couple words. Why don't you pick it off, Tanner?
This is going to be a longer section than the first part you guys heard.
Change it, obviously, of course. We are back. We're live. We're back in action. We're enthused. We're reinvigorated. We're energized.
Really?
And we're on that grind once again, as they say. Welcome, boys and girls, to the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast, episode number 336. We hope you didn't forget about us. I know it's been a minute. It's been a week, in fact. Welcome to the show. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. Today I'm joined by young Tanner, back from swimming with the manta rays at Zion. How was the trip, man?
Swimming with the manta rays at Zion.
How was your trip?
It was cool. Yeah, it was fun.
You were gone for a long time, huh? How many days?
It wasn't.
How many
It was
nights?
very short. We only there 6 nights.
Okay, that's
which is
long
pretty
as fuck.
short. It's not. We could have used where we were probably another 3 nights minimum to see shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, it was cool. It was fun. A lot of I don't know. Sometimes you go places and you try not to do too much, because then it just feels like you're always like driving and always doing something.
Feels like you have chores, yeah.
Yeah, so I try to get like a good mix of it both. So, went swimming every day, went to some gorgeous beaches. Zion has some really beautiful beaches now, I guess. Manta rays there too. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, crystal clear ocean water.
Zion has luau's too. We went to a luau. That was dope as fuck. Swam with some manta rays, went to this dope rainforest, like a botanical garden essentially. Gorgeous. Holy shit, it was just absolutely gorgeous. Right on the ocean.
Must have gotten picked up.
Right on the ocean, which is also where Zion is now. Zion in the Pacific Ocean, so they have a nice little...
it's about a 6-hour flight from California to Zion.
5-hour flight to Zion.
Over the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so it was cool. Yeah, and no, for those of you asking, no, I did not go to Zion with J God. He also just so happened to be there, but no, we did not plan that. We did meet up, though, and have lunch. We didn't. We were on separate islands now, but that was funny that we were there at the same exact time, basically.
That is cool, yeah.
He left 2 days before me.
J God reached out to you, but
he did.
He's not quite big enough for him to be worth your time.
Yeah, J God asked if I wanted to meet up for lunch or do something, and I was like, who are you? Spit gif.
He had a business idea, and you just kind of laughed.
Like, you don't
said, I'm on vacation, pig.
You don't have 3 million followers on Twitter? Leave me alone, peasant.
Yeah. Which is the correct response, of course, Yeah, so anyway, Tanner was on vacation. I took a vacation as well. Didn't do shit, which is exactly what my type of vacation is. Pretty fantastic. My dad also left for California, where the hood we used to live at.
That hood.
He's fucking still gone, by the way.
He's never coming back. How does it feel to be fatherless?
Well, I can get used to it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it would be a lot better with the inheritance. So, put it that way. This is a worst case scenario. He just skips out.
Well, he's in town. I can put a hit on him if you want.
We could put out a hit on him. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, get that money a little sooner. But anyway,
with a golf cart mid swing.
So anyway, we've been gone for a week, but we are back starting this week we're going to be very busy. We got some Patreon episodes to catch up on. Excited to get those done. Got a lot more Warzone to play, of course, and we also have pretty normal schedule for the next few weeks. This week might be a little abnormal, but it probably won't be. I think we'll be able to stick to our Thursday, Saturday thing. But in either case, we will have 2 live episodes. We'll get all of our Patreon episodes done as always. And next month, things might start heating up and getting interesting. As I had said before our break, this was a good week for Tanner to be out of town because we're going to talk about a lot right now this episode, but as far as like changes to the game, there wasn't too terribly much, which is to be expected on the, right after a new season releases. So it was a good time to take a little breather, but we're gonna kick back into high gear here. So just keep that in mind. We're kind of back on our bullshit. And that shouldn't happen again for quite a while, any vacations like that. So anyway, yeah, welcome to the show. What else did I want to say? Speaking of the Patreon, by the way, we put out one Patreon episode during the vacation for all of our patrons, patreon.com/thedropshot. And it was about Vondel, and you can listen to it now if you're a patron. We're going to revisit that topic a little bit at the start of this episode, because we have some kind of things we want to say in conjunction with what we talked about on that episode. But it was good. It was a fun recording. And it was I don't know if that was technically, no, Saturday was first impressions. And then the Patreon episode was a brainstorm. So we have a lot to add for both of those topics. And I will say now, and again, we're going to get into it today. We have kind of a radical departure from our first impressions of Vondel.
Yeah.
That we're going to talk about. I would argue this is going to be the most radical departure from a first impressions episode, maybe ever. We say this all the time for our first impressions episodes. Our opinions will change on some of these things. They are subject to change. That's pretty much always the case with respect to at least something we like or dislike in our first impressions that changes over time. In this case, it's a lot of things, but we're going to get into that today. So regardless, the point is, if you're a patron, that episode is now up, has been up for a while, and for all tiers. And as another reminder on the Patreon, again, we got a lot more episodes coming this month. And for June, you can become a free trial new patron. This is going to go away in July. So we are closing in on free trials for Patreon. So if you wanted to listen to that episode, you don't have to spend a goddamn cent. You can go to patreon.com/thedropshot, start a free trial at gold or platinum, and get access to that episode and every other episode of that tier of all time. And we've done a lot of bonus episodes. We've done like 150, 160, some shit like that. You get instant access for free. So if you wanted to capitalize or see if you would enjoy bonus episodes of the program, as well as early access for the public episodes and ad-free episodes, patreon.com/thedropshot. Because in July, free trials are gone. So capitalize while you can. Don't forget. Couple other quick announcements here. Speaking of the Patreon, we had our Damascus hangout last night. We do have a lot of our Damascus patrons camping.
Oh yeah.
In I don't know where they went. It doesn't matter. They live in the wilderness. Do they call? Yeah. If you live in Minnesota, is it possible to go camping? Because don't you just live in like a tent?
Yeah.
Far away from civilization.
Well, you couldn't live in a tent. You can't be homeless because you would freeze to death in the winter. So they don't live in a tent.
That's true. Yeah.
That's one of those nice canvas tents with like a heater in it. Wood burning stove, maybe.
Yeah, you live in a dwelling if you live
Most
in
of our
Minnesota.
listeners are
I guess
homeless.
You live somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, they're camping. So it was a cozy, intimate Damascus hangout. We had probably about 6 to 6 to 8 people.
It was like 10
people
at one
were
point for a little while.
A little bit of a 10 type beat. People were coming in and out as they always do. It was a lot of fun. We were up very late, actually. A lot of chatting, good times. That was the type of hangout that I enjoy doing.
Yeah,
I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, it was cool. Ate a whole box of Kraft mac and cheese. That was pretty dope.
God, I love Kraft mac and cheese. Yeah. We had a spirited discussion on breakfast cereal as well.
Yeah,
which I think was not fruitful, but it was enjoyable. And I'll stand by it. Having slept on it, I think Honey Bunches of Oats is just the best breakfast cereal. I don't know what else to say. Solid little cereal.
I'm a Fruity Pebbles with Lucky Charms marshmallows type of guy. But.
Yeah, you're a child. You're 6. Yeah, okay. Which is fine. But
okay,
So anyway, the hangout was fun. We do them every month. I just saw on Patreon someone asked how they could join the hangout. Get fucked, I guess. But next month you can join the hangout. Listen to the announcements one time. They take place in our Discord, so you got to be able to join our Discord. And if you're not in there, then you won't be able to attend the hangout. Now, luckily for you, it's free and easy to join our Discord. You click on any of the links that we've plastered absolutely everywhere, and then you link your Patreon and Discord accounts, and I have a picture book guide in our Discord, in fact, on how to do that. It's very easy. So you could be there next time. And if you're having trouble joining the Discord, go see our pinned post on our Patreon page, because it's probably a problem with your shit Apple device. And if it's not, then I can't help you. I don't know what else to do. We've tried. We're going to try more, I think, tomorrow, though, if anyone else is having any issues. But anyway, last announcement before we get into this bitch. Manscaped.com's use promo code Dropshot, 20% off and free shipping. Very important month for us. It's, and again, we're closing in on the end of June. So if you want to support the show and you need to trim your fucking balls or beard or cock,
those things,
or anything really, go to manscaped.com. I stand by their most recent trimmer with the fucking wheel, the rotary
beard trimmer
wheel. Yeah, it's clutch.
It's nice.
It has a rotary wheel, 20 different lengths, and you don't have to swap 20 different clips like an asshole.
I mean, you should try using it on your face sometime, right?
I did yesterday.
Okay, we'll do it shorter this time.
Well, I just
what wheel setting do you do?
Lately, I've just been just buzzing, just taking the clippers off.
Huh.
That's what I did yesterday. But
okay.
When I like using the rotary wheel, I think 6 is what I was going for.
Yeah, usually between 4 and 6, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
It's a solid little length. So, anyway. If you're listening to the jingle, here it is. Gap.
I wouldn't consider that a gap.
Oh, and if you gave us money or joined the Patreon or some shit, we'll talk about it next week on Thursday. We do our acknowledgements once a week on Thursdays. All right. Today, we are talking about Call of Duty. So, Tanner and I last night, he came back from his trip, and we were kind of talking about what we wanted to do for this episode. And one thing that's been very well received fairly recently, over the few times we've done it, is a press the button episode. What does that mean? That means we press the button and then start talking, and then an episode comes out.
Yeah.
A press the button type of episode. That's kind of what this is going to be. The focus for this episode is going to be Call of Duty. It's not going to be a comprehensive Thursday type of episode where we cover every single change or anything, although we are going to talk about some things. We're going to talk about some news and some drama as well. I think, did we write these things down?
Which one? Oh,
Isaac
yeah.
shit?
I don't really actually know enough about it to talk about it anymore. I don't care. We would have to see the clips, I guess, which we didn't watch.
That's cool.
Never mind.
That's cool, but we're gonna talk about it anyway.
Okay.
What do we need to? Let's not let not knowing shit about the topic stop us from talking about it.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's
if we're
what
turning
I
into a
always say.
drama pod, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, you don't need
You
to
just
know
talk
shit,
about it with
research
zero
shit.
info. Yeah, you don't
Exactly,
research anything.
yeah.
You don't get the facts. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, we can talk about it then because we know
Just
nothing
assume-
about it. So perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're gonna kind of run the gamut, but it's gonna be all about Call of Duty today. But we want to start with Vondel Revisited. So
Vondel.
we released on our last public episode our first impressions of Vondel, and it was quite negative. And in addition, we released a Vondel brainstorm on Patreon, which was not so negative. Although there were, hints of that. And on both of those topics, there are some things we want to add. In fact, after we had recorded I think it was our brainstorm for Patreon, Tanner and I then immediately got on the game and started playing Vondel and trying a lot of our brainstorm ideas. And it actually dramatically changed our enjoyment of the map and how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to read what I wrote on our Patreon bonus episode as a jumping off point. We played a lot after this and decided to try out the broadside shotgun, and this made our Vondel experience infinitely better. Rather than fighting rooftop to rooftop, we just dropped under the buildings and absolutely cleaned up with that sucker. Also, quick fix triggers after inserting a plate, in addition to after getting a kill. Because one thing we had also talked... So, yeah, let me just keep reading, actually. So it is absolutely the play on Vondel and Ashika to run quick fix. Lastly, the HCR, light machine gun, the AUG LMG, is indeed fucking insane. TLDR, we had a lot more fun after recording this episode, and the one you'll hear next, than it will sound like in these episodes. I think our criticisms still stand, but using a shotgun or even an SMG and likewise dipping below buildings helps to play around the poorly designed aspect of the map, which is all of the insane head glitches. I cleaned up my language a little bit there, my writing there, but that's the gist of it. So yeah, there are a lot of things we said and a lot of ideas we had that I wanted to talk about. So one of them is quick fix. We'll start with that. Actually, let's go in order. We'll start with the broadside. So one of the things we did not talk about actually in that brainstorm is using a shotgun and just playing the map differently. So when we had recorded that episode and after we had played Vondel before recording the first impressions, we had been playing it honestly like Ashika, meaning we were not really going into buildings. We were playing on rooftops or between rooftops. And that was kind of it. And that can be good and can be successful, no doubt. But it's also quite frustrating when you're not the one on the rooftop. And we were kind of avoiding going inside of buildings. So then I was playing with Jake, and and I was playing with Jake and Lag, trios on Vondel, and we were all like doing fine, whatever. Lag immediately is downed, and he's like, oh fuck, this guy on me is weak or whatever. So I come in, I skip in full health, full plates with a hipfire MP5, and I'm ready to bang. Because that was my favorite gun up until exactly this moment. We'll get into that. I start shooting the guy. He is weak. You know, I might even have cracked his plates. Didn't matter, though, because what was he using? The KV broadside shotgun with fire breath ammunition attachment, among other attachments, probably.
Yeah, there's some other attachments.
Deletes me. And I fucked him up. He's definitely weak now. So now me and Lag are like, Jake, come save us. This guy has 1 health point. So Jake comes in, and keep in mind, Jake is 17 years old. He might cheat. Very good player.
Possible, yeah.
And he has full health, and he's ready to fuck. But he came in and was not ready to fuck, actually. And he died in like 2 shots from the shotgun or some shit. And Jake was like, oh, pull us out. I am immediately building a broadside. So I started laughing, and I said, you know what? Fuck it, sure. Because one thing that did happen with Season 4 that most of us didn't talk about because we kind of assumed it wasn't going to be enough was a buff to specifically the Dragon's Breath rounds on the broadside. That was one of the changes with Season 4. No one talked about it because prior to that, they gutted the fuck out of the broadside. But then we died to the same guy. In the same mag, probably. He probably didn't have to reload, actually. It was probably like 3 bullets each down. So Jake's like, I'm not playing again until I set this up. So pull me the fuck out of the lobby. So he sets one up. I'm laughing. I'm like, sure, I'll do it too. So then we do that. And then instead of just like rooftop hopping and trying to use our assault rifles, cringe, kill yourself if you're using long range guns, we just started going inside. We would start getting shot from a rooftop, diving underneath, just walking into the door and mobbing up the 1 foot wide staircase and just fucking swimming in an ocean of violence and fire and blood and gore and just destroying everyone. Because guess what competes with a fucking KV broadside shotgun in a Vondel staircase?
Nothing.
Another KV broadside, and that's all. Because there's nothing you can do if you don't have one. So then all of a sudden, oh, it's a different map, because now instead of avoiding those staircases like the fucking plague, I live in them. And instead oh yeah, dude. And instead of getting really frustrated with all of the head glitches, we just see someone on a rooftop head glitching, we laugh, we press our swap weapon button, and we dive underneath their building, and then it's only a matter of time. We're on the hunt.
Dive, huh? Yeah.
And there's nothing they can do, because I'm coming up the staircase, and you can meet me in the staircase. That would be the worst mistake you could make, because it takes no fucking skill to use a KV broadside in a Vondel staircase. It takes none. All you have to do is pull the trigger. You can't even miss if you're trying to. Like if you try to aim away from them.
Can.
It's not possible. The staircase is too small.
Yeah.
So if someone is there and you aim anywhere, all of your pellets are hitting. It's fantastic. So either they can meet you in the staircase, that's a fucking mistake, or they can camp like the rooftop, and depending on the building, that can sometimes work. But a lot of times people will kind of be like right outside the door, to the right or to the left, like crouch or prone, or maybe on a little rooftop. That's not going to save you. You're way too close to me, buddy. Or you can get the fuck off the rooftop and it's mine now. And that makes the game a lot more fun and easy, by the way. So then once we started doing that, it was actually a different game, because again, even though it was the same map, we were not going to the same places. We were not occupying the same places, and we weren't rotating in the same way anymore either. Because like we had talked about in those episodes, we had been rooftop hopping and just trying to go from rooftop to rooftop. And as soon as we started using the shotgun and realizing how disgusting it is inside these buildings, we would go often from rooftop to the ground into the staircase. And then if there's a team there, they're going to die. And then you take the rooftop. And then you go back down, swim up, kill everything, never die, and then continue on, and then it's almost like a different map, actually.
The thing is,
and it tremendously improved our enjoyment.
The thing is too, if you're on the roof after you clear it, the one piece of footstep audio you hear in this game is people coming up the Vondel staircases.
True.
You're on the
Good
roof
point.
and you hear them at whatever level they're on, so you're like, oh, I hear footsteps on wood really loud. He's obviously on the stairs coming up because that's the only piece of audio that works for some reason. Even though, you know, he's below 3 layers of flooring, walls, all of that, but you hear them better than if someone's right next to you jumping. So then if you clear that roof, you hear someone coming up, you just either wait at the door with a shotgun or you just simply push them in the staircase and then shotgun them. Yeah, it's a pretty good strat. Yeah, I haven't been using it last couple days since I got back. Been trying other things, but I think the play is actually not running Dragon's Breath because I think Jake ended up swapping off and I think he liked regular better. I don't remember for sure, but I think most of the builds people are running now are not Dragon's Breath because you get a lot better range without Dragon's Breath. And I feel like still up close, it's probably the same shots to kill with or without Dragon's Breath, I would imagine. It's probably not going to make a difference in an actual like extra whole shell or something. Maybe when it comes down to like actual pellets hitting, maybe, but I don't know. I like having the range better, so it is really good. Yeah, then I started playing with you, and then we had 4 shotgun users.
Oh my god, it was so fun.
We were dropping, I think I dropped my highest kill Vondel. Well, I don't think. I did drop my highest kill Vondel game so far with that. I think I had like 26 one of those games. I mean, there was one game where me, Lag, and Jake all had over 20, and you had like 15 or something. We had a lot of kills, and it was with the shotguns. I mean, we were just destroyed. Didn't we win like 3 games in a row doing that too, and then we got off 3 or 4 games? I don't know if we lost that night,
like
actually.
A Sheikah. Yeah. We started running that shit like a Sheikah.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. So yeah, shotgun's good. I used it a little bit yesterday, and then I decided to level up the ISO, the new SMG, which we also had not talked about in our previous 2 episodes because we hadn't used them. I unlocked it yesterday because it's double XP weekend, by the way. I guess none of you, if you're listening, it will have already ended. But if you're here live and don't know, double everything right now.
Early access patrons.
Yeah.
Which you can get a free trial to do that.
Not
too.
True. So, yeah, double XP. I think I maxed out the gun and, God, I don't know, with double XP on multiplayer, 20 minutes, 25 minutes maybe. Got it Orion last night. That sucker is really good, so that's what I've been using. Still trying to figure out a build I like, but it is the best SMG
is everyone using
statistically.
An ADS build?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But it statistically it's the best SMG by a lot. I think it's like around a 600 millisecond time to kill, where most of the other SMGs really now with the added health are around 700. So it's essentially up close the same TTK as like the meta SMGs before the 50 health. So it feels like a Lockman or a Vaznev did in Season 3, essentially, like at the end of Season 3. Mm-hmm. So it's really good. It's a little weird. It has dog shit trash irons, which is very difficult, especially for K-BAM, because you lose your target easily. Most controller players, I think you can get away. Well, you can get away in close range gunfights without running an optic. You can run something else, an ammo type, maybe. I don't know, something for more recoil control. The gun does bounce around quite a bit, but it kills very fast. So that's what I've been using. I don't know if I like it more than the shotgun, but I want to use it a lot, get used to it. So that's been fun. But yeah, the shotgun fucks too. And I'm still surprised there are not many people shotgunning at all.
I know there are.
I don't think I died to a custom shotgun today at all when I play with Jake.
Yeah, there really aren't, which is very weird. Yeah, so one thing I'll add as well, because a lot of people don't like using shotguns. I think the biggest reason people don't like using shotguns, even when they're good, is because most people are on controller, and most people use auto tac sprint. And using anything hip fire with auto tac sprint is very awkward, because you'll just interrupt your own like bullets by like going forward. So it's kind of frustrating to do, and you either have to like slide everything, which I don't think you can even do in Warzone 2 because of the shot delay, or just turn off auto tac, which is not really what you want to do if you're used to that anyway. So even if you're not using shotguns, like maybe you're enjoying the ISO a lot, but you hate Vondel or something. I don't think most people do hate Vondel, by the way. We'll get into that.
No, it's
I'd
more
like to take a look
Ashika.
at our. I'd like to take a look at our poll. Actually, I ran a little poll. Take a look at that. But
yeah, I think Vondel won.
Even if you're not using a shotgun, I still think it is worth considering the strategy I just talked about, which is instead of just only sticking to rooftops, be on a rooftop, or excuse me, enter a building, clear it from the staircase from underneath, then take the rooftop, chill there, get some kills, whatever. And then when you need to rotate, instead of just going straight to another rooftop where people might be underneath you or on that rooftop or on an adjacent rooftop, dive under the building, clear the stairs up, and then have the rooftop. I think even if you're not using a shotgun, that's probably going to be a more successful strat on Vondel, frankly, with how disgusting the rooftop head glitches are. And I think that was our really big mistake and why we were so down on Vondel in our last 2 episodes. So regardless of the shotgun thing, I think that's something that you guys can maybe keep in mind. And that's like one of the big first impression things that has drastically changed, because like Vondel's really fun now.
Yeah.
So anyway, next thing we had talked about here, quick fix. So yeah, another thing we talked about in our Patreon episode was one of the brainstorm ideas was running quick fix instead of ghost or restock or some shit. It's an ultimate perk. Yeah.
So not or high alert, I guess.
Or
Restock's
high alert, yeah.
Middle perk bonus.
Oh, that's correct. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, we were kind of postulating quick fix might be worth it, but you probably want to run throwing knives if you do, because getting a full kill is how you initiate the health regen. What we failed to realize is that in addition to getting a kill, inserting a plate also immediately starts your health regen.
Yeah.
That makes quick fix indispensable as far as I'm concerned on Ashika and Vondel. It's not even remotely close. There's no other perk in the ultimate category that's even remotely close to being as good as quick fix. Because again, remember, in addition to there being more health, meaning getting health regen accounts for a bigger proportion of your total health pool, including plates, they also nerfed the health regen delay from 5 to 7 seconds. With quick fix, you can ignore that, because what you do is get in a gunfight, whatever, you get a kill, some other guy's chasing you, you're running away to take cover while plating. Instead of having all your plates inserted and your health regen just started when the guy is lapping the corner, you're already full health before you're even done plating again. Plating up completely, rather. So quick fix, I wish we had remembered or realized that inserting a plate also triggers the health regen. You can completely skip the health regen delay nerf that they added erroneously by just running quick fix. And there's nothing else you should be running on Vondel or Ashika, and I don't think it's even a conversation or an argument. I don't think you can even make an argument for anything else. On like Maz, you can definitely make arguments for other perks. Of course.
I wouldn't run quick fix, no.
Correct. But on Vondel and Ashika, quick fix is infinitely better, especially after, again, the nerf timer, and there's more health now. So it's more important that you get your health back as soon as possible. And we've run it. It starts instantly as soon as you insert a plate. It's really, really good. The difference is night and day. That also contributed to us enjoying Vondel more, is using the obvious right perk in that slot.
Yeah.
You've been running quick fix, I'm assuming. Right?
Yeah, I was just going to check something, because I think the change was in multiplayer too, I'm pretty sure. Health regen.
Oh, interesting.
Because when I was playing multiplayer, it felt like ass. Gameplay regen. Let me see.
Quick fix felt like ass in multi?
No, the multi felt like ass, and I swapped to quick fix, and it was really nice to have. in multiplayer. I don't actually know if it changed in multiplayer, but it's just like it's supposedly only in Warzone. I wouldn't doubt if it's also in multiplayer. But maybe it's just I haven't played multiplayer in so long.
5 seconds is longer in multi than
It is, because
Warzone,
there's always someone, so maybe that's it too. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've been running it. Far and away the best third perk. High alert, like really good, but the other thing too, it's so buggy. You get high alert through walls and all sorts of shit. You get high alert with people floating in, just looking your direction. So that combined with 75 players on the map, you get so many high alert pings that it just gets annoying actually. Yeah. And I would just almost rather not have it because I can't trust it half the time or something because it's, I don't know. Plus two, like, there's so many little roofs and stuff. If someone gets like the smallest angle on me, my high alert's gonna trigger, but it's like they may not even actually see me. I don't know.
Yeah.
And also now a lot of the fighting
is in a staircase.
Like the way I play now, you try to push buildings a little bit more. So, yeah, I don't know. But quick fix is the best for me by far. I think if you're someone who plays slower, if you get like 5 kills on Resurgence and that's like a good game for you, you don't need quick fix because you're not getting into a lot of gunfights like that. But if you're someone who likes to play aggressive and like go for kills a lot, rush things, quick fix is by far the best ultimate perk right now. Yeah. And again, kind of like the shotguns, not many people run quick fix. I know like the kill cams are probably busted still, but when you look at those, I don't see quick fix often. When I kill people and I look at their perk packages after I die or something and come back, try to pick up perk packages, every single person is like running. I think more people run ghost than high alert. Every package I find has ghosts. Like, what are you guys doing?
It's pretty wild how many people are not running quick fix.
Yeah.
Actually.
So I don't think people are understanding how good it is. It will save you so many times. Just today, one of the last games Jake and I played, we were split and our third backed out because he died once, so he left. So it was Jake and I versus 3, but really we were both playing 1v3 because we were 200 meters away from each other. But I was fighting these guys on a roof, and I was on the roof. I killed one that was on the ground, or I downed him. I jumped down, I throwing knifed him. I could hear his teammate shooting at me, so his teammate did a bunch of damage, so I'm trying to like hide under this umbrella as he's fucking me up, and then I start plating. I hear him parachute, so he parachutes down. As when he gets close to the ground, I start shooting him. I have no plates on this whole time. I throwing knife him. I was low health. His teammate on the roof right above me starts shooting me right as I fold his buddy, so I was getting that quick fix regen as he's shooting at me, and it's like, it feels like you're just healing through the damage, and that's not the way it works. I'm pretty sure it stops your regen, but it's like I had regen to a point where I could take a few more bullets without dying, and I was able to run away and get around the corner and plate up and then rush up to the roof and kill the guy later. But like, I'm dead in that situation without quick fix. So I think if you're an aggressive player, quick fix is far and away the best. But yeah, there's still a lot of you guys listening. I think Ghost or High Alert will fit your play style better. If you more like play Resurgence and just want to win and play a lot of rooftops, High Alert's still going to be good. Ghost is still going to be good. But
I don't know, man.
Aggressive players, for sure, you should run quick fix.
You don't have. The thing is, you don't have to get a kill for quick fix to benefit you. Like, even if you're a little rooftop rat and you're like popping up, taking shots at someone, getting broken, proning, doing it again, I still think quick fix is probably better for you on balance. I don't know if that's true. It's a good question. I would say if you're not running quick fix, irrespective of your play style, do yourself and me a favor. Run quick fix instead of whatever you're running for an afternoon. See if you're doing better or not. Yeah. Because I get the impression that pretty much regardless of your play style, on those two maps, you're plating so often and you're not full health so often that quick fix is going to still be better than anything else. I could be wrong. You might be right. I don't know though. My instincts tell me quick fix is going to be the play.
It would help coming out of gas too, yeah, because you take a lot of gas damage on this map. That's a good point. So if you're riding the edge of gas in water or something and you're barely able to get out of it, there's always people watching the edge of gas, and you're going to be one shot for 7 seconds basically if you don't have quick fix. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
I really like it. Give it a try. If you don't see much benefit, maybe swap back, but it's really, really good.
Exactly. Yeah, just give it a shot regardless if you haven't tried it yet on Vondel or Ashika. And then, if you use it for 5 games and you feel like it sucks, then go back to whatever dog shit you were using. But I think quick fix by and large is going to be better for everyone. But yeah, test it yourself. So yeah, by the way, the results of our poll, we tweeted from the Dropshot Pod on Twitter. Follow us now. Now verified, by the way, blue check mark, by the way, because we're influential. We tweeted a poll. Now that we've had some time to try out Vondel, this was on the 21st, which map is better? Let us know why in the comments. I should have said replies. Looking forward to our Fire Saturday episode. So we got 130 votes on this poll. The options were Vondel, Ashika, or I like them equally. 17% of people like both maps equally. 25% of people like Ashika better than Vondel. And 58% of people out of 130 votes, which is a decent little sample size, like Vondel better. I'm kind of surprised by that, frankly. I'm not necessarily surprised people like Vondel better than Ashika. I'm surprised that many more people like Vondel better than Ashika, though. That's a lot. 60%, 58%. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, people are liking Vondel a lot. Just wanted to point that out there. So anyway, what else did I want to talk about? So another thing we talked about in our brainstorm was the HCR. Like, what gun should we be trying? Now, obviously, since that episode came out, the meta has kind of settled a lot on long-range weapons. Not 100%, but quite a bit. One thing we had talked about was trying the HCR. Tanner had that idea. I tried it and yeah, that afternoon, I got on with Jake and lag, and then Tanner wasn't playing for a while, but he got on like 2 hours later or whatever. But yeah, I was trying the HCR, and I was like, Jake, you gotta try this HCR, man. So then he tried it, and he was like laughing at how gross it was on Vondel. And it is indeed fucking nuts. Pretty much everything we thought would be good about the HCR is true. Not much recoil, super controllable, very good time to kill, very good damage ranges, solid reload time. Reloads exactly as fast as a Lockman 5.56, which is one of the meta ARs right now. And it has a
mag instead of like a belt-fed
magazine
box.
Right. And it's got 60 round mag by default, so you get a free attachment slot too, which is really good because if you want even more recoil control, you can do that. You don't have to run a mag attachment. If you want even more handling to offset the fact that it is in fact an LMG, you can do that as well. You have a floating attachment slot. So it's really fucking solid. Now I will add, it is certainly not meta. No one's using an HCR. I haven't seen anyone using an HCR besides me and the people I play with. However, I think that says less about the HCR and more about the long-range meta in general right now. Because people are using a lot of shit. I'm seeing M13s. I'm seeing SO14s, which is a semi-automatic rifle, which I really like to see in the mix. Because as you guys who have listened for a while know, I'm a big semi-auto guy. Burst fire, semi-auto, and full auto. I want all of them to be viable, but I don't want a DMR situation. And that's exactly where we are right now. Some people use the SO14 because it's really good and it's semi-auto. And some people say, fuck that. I'm using a full auto gun, and they're using a 5.56 or an M13.
I think SO14 is mostly being used in ranked because it's hard to use. It can also go full auto, but then it has a lot of recoil and you're doing less damage per shot.
Less damage,
that's how the game works.
No one's
so
using
that's
it that
like
way,
the current ranked meta now is the SO14 and semi-auto. Yeah, I haven't seen it on Vondel, but...
Yeah. So the point there is that we were correct about the HCR in the brainstorm. I think it's a very solid option. I had been using the Lockman 556 a lot prior to getting that idea, and I definitely like the HCR more than the Lockman 556. Same reload speed, not the same handling, but close enough for how I'm using my AR on a Vondel, and same magazine size, but also equivalent recoil, a little bit more than a 556, but not much. It's still totally usable.
Yeah.
But most importantly, way more fucking damage. And like obviously faster time to kill than the Lockman 556.
Better time to kill up close at pretty much all ranges. Yeah, and it's like the same amount of
DPM.
Same recoil too. That's the other thing. It feels like exactly the same, I think.
Yeah, it's very low recoil, yeah. So you could definitely use that. That is in the mix.
Lockman actually reloads slower.
Oh, does it really?
It reloads 0.01 milliseconds slower, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So the HCR experiment was a success. It's fucking super, super solid. But so I just wanted to keep you guys updated on that. But also, yeah, let's talk a little bit about the long range meta right now. M13, Lockman 556, and the SO14. Is there any other long range AR that people are using a lot?
RAP is more popular than like the SO. Not that many people are really even using the M13 yet. I would say a lot of Lockman 556s, some RAPs, which is a good choice too. I've been trying the M13. The M13 doesn't have the best time to kill at most ranges, but like Jake was telling me, like its reload is so fast that you just instantly have a lot more ammo. It's really easy to control. It's a great like closer to mid-range gun. It feels
it's a little bud.
Yeah.
It's a little bud for sure.
What else? TAC V is up there. I tried the TAC V yesterday. I think it's kind of capped. Surprisingly enough, J-God actually said I think that was in his top 2. Pretty hard to use, though. It has a good theoretical time to kill, but you're going to miss a lot of shots with it. It's not easy to use, so I would not recommend the TAC V to most of you. TAC V, M13, HCR. Those are the 3 I've been trying. Some people use the M4. Now? A lot of people say the M4 is good. Right now, I'm trying the M13. I'm trying the M13.
Okay.
Because yeah, I've been using the HCR, and the more I use it, the more I start to dislike it. So I don't know, but I think it's just because it just feels like it takes forever to kill. But I think it's just because since I was gone and didn't play for a week, the health change feels different since I hadn't got fully used to it. Yeah, so I think that's what it is. All the guns just feel kind of shit at long range.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Kastov 762 is even usable in there. That has a good time to kill. There are a lot of them. So, I mean, I died today twice to fucking hemlocks. And you can tell when you're getting shot by it, you're just taking bullets left and right. Feels like you're wearing a Zabralo body armor. If you have quick fix
and you just plate, then the math doesn't work. You'll never die to a hemlock.
Yeah,
they can't do enough damage in time. Yeah.
So yeah, they're
stop using a hemlock.
Meta's wide open, I think, for primary guns. A lot of people are still sniping. Great. I picked up a sniper today. Got a lot of kills at the end, a lot of downs. I picked up some. I had died, so I came back and I was picking up guns. And I was like, ooh, an explosive MCPR. I feel like that'll be good in this circle. And it was. Got some kills at the end. Jake had probably the nastiest 1v4 clutch he had no business winning that I've ever seen. He had our fucking random teammates just basically screaming. It was pretty insane. It was probably a top 3 clutch for him. Maybe his best ever. I mean, he didn't have plates the whole time. His gas mask ran out. He was 1v4, and they just kept pushing him one by one, and he killed them all with the ISO. It was fucking insane. So,
shout out to Jake. We'll edit that out, by the way.
But yeah.
Another thing I've been seeing a lot. This is not very new, but I just want to mention it. Signal gaming. Still some Signal gamers. Signal 50 semi-auto sniper rifle. Without explosive ammo, obviously, because you can't. I don't think that's an attachment. But that is still something people are doing in ranked. Not something you're going to see on Vondel or Ashika, nor should you. But yeah, a lot of people are still using that on Moz, which I don't know. I just wanted to mention that's part of the long range meta.
I would use it on
like
Vondel over Moz, I think, actually. The MCPRs that we're talking about?
No, the signal.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I would use the signal over that on Moz, yeah. Signal looks good.
Yeah. It's a very awkward gun to me, but
and
I didn't want to
the 5-round mag.
neglect mentioning it. Yeah. So anyway, so that was all the things we talked about in the brainstorm that we kind of wanted to revisit, just to kind of shore some things up. We might have mentioned a couple other things. I think we had a conversation on what lethals to run. I did in fact switch to, I think it was Molotovs, which is what we were talking about, I believe.
Yeah.
They didn't make any impression on me. But, that's kind of the realities of lethals right now in Warzone 2 in general. They're just not super relevant, I feel like.
Drill charges for like ranked, but I think for like
drill charge for ranked, that's kind of
Resurgence, there's not like a real clear winner.
Yeah.
Usually the sweaty kids will use throwing knives, and then other than that, it's Semtex's drill charges.
Exactly. But yeah, with how much shotgunning I was doing, it just it didn't matter. And I, again, just before we get off this point, in those staircases, the other thing that's really good about the shotgun is that if you're getting pushed by a team of people, you're doing like AoE damage, like you're playing Diablo 4 and using abilities. I'm not kidding.
You got like 10,000 damage per mag.
Dude, actually, like, you shoot one fucking shell and it's actually like if you were using an ISO and for every bullet, you were hitting all 3 people in their chests simultaneously. You're doing like full damage to the whole team with each round. There were many, many times that I and you and Jake, I'm sure, would say the same, that you would be in a staircase, maybe by yourself, and you're pushing up, and then like 2 or 3 people are coming down, and that's just a mistake because you just down them all like almost at the same time. That's how it feels, because the staircase is so small that every time you shoot one of them, the other people are also taking damage. It's really fucking good for Vondel because those staircases are abundant and you're just doing AoE damage. You can't do that with a SMG. It's not possible. Like, it's so good. So just something, again, to reiterate. What else was I going to say? Oh, and one other thing. I don't know if we talked about this. I think we mentioned it briefly. Using the thermal optic.
Yeah, you talked about it.
In the brainstorm, we said maybe we should be using, what's it called? Holotherm, right? Maybe we should be using the Holotherm for Vondel, because it zooms in more than a red dot, but not as much as a Schlogger. And also, it sees through smoke. That's probably pretty good on Vondel, in addition to seeing through fog. I indeed did put that on the HCR, and I am indeed here to tell you, I'm not kidding. For every game we placed top 3, I got at least 1 kill through fog or smoke that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise, exclusively because of that thermal optic. It is in fact better than I postulated it might be for Vondel. The only downside is that it does have some zoom, so if you like red dots and not having zoom at all, that's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But other than that, for how often... because here's the thing for me. If I'm playing Vondel and I'm using my AR, that means I'm not using my shotgun and I'm kind of sad. But what it also means is that I'm on a rooftop and I'm shooting people way farther away than I need to be worried about by having the little bit of zoom it gives me. And in fact, I'm kind of happy I have a little more zoom than just a red dot. So like on Moz, for example, when that optic was meta, there were times on Moz when people were like 14 meters from you, and that's awkward. Because if I have a red dot, that's totally fine. I ADS and I kill them, no problem. But the holotherm zooms a little too much for that awkward distance, and then you're kind of sad it zooms at all. But in my experience, that just doesn't happen on Vondel with how the map is built and how I play it. I'm either on a rooftop shooting to another rooftop, or I'm in a staircase wiping a team with a Dragon's Breath shotgun. So in addition to being able to see through, of course, again, smoke and fog, it's literally better than I thought it was going to be, and it's really fucking good. I would encourage you guys to use it. And as a side note, you also get another little treat, which is people being mad at you for using thermals, which did happen once or twice on the session we played right after we recorded this episode. Someone typed in the text chat, "You're a thermal using,"
he was
something
pretty mad,
to that effect, which was an additional, of course, benefit of using the thermal, because I got a deep belly laugh out of that. It's really good. And yeah, with how many smokes and again the fog, it's really fucking solid. In fact, the first game I was using it, Jake and Lag were not using it. We were playing trios. We got some guy weak, and he was parachuting into a smoke grenade his teammate threw on a buy, and they just couldn't find him anymore. And I was able to get the kill. And if I didn't have a thermal, none of us would have gotten the kill. But I was able to see through the smoke. And that was happening often. So yeah, I would encourage you guys to try it. I know it's like kind of a shit optic besides that.
Dog shit,
but yeah, tell us why you don't like it. Have you even tried it on Vondel?
No, I just don't like that optic. I didn't like it on Moz either when everyone was running it. I don't know, I just don't like the reticle. A lot more extra added visual recoil for not zooming enough to make a difference. It's just harder to use. So it's like, sure, you can see through smoke and get kills in those instances, but every other time aside from that specific situation, it's just worse than having like any red dot, in my opinion, or any other hollow sight. I don't like it at all. It's a trash optic, trash zoom level.
It does give you more recoil because it zooms.
Yeah.
But depending on the gun, like if I was using an M4, which you mentioned, I would never use a holotherm because that gun is way too fucking bouncy. And if you put any zoom on that bitch, good luck. It's not going to work. But like on an HCR or a Lockman 5.56, you can totally get away with the added visual recoil with the zoom.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people just hate it. It's not like a requirement. But if you can tolerate the holotherm, I think it is absolutely worth at least trying on Vondel. I would encourage you guys to do that. So that was one other thing I wanted to mention. So anyway.
But yeah, last things about Vondel. The map's a lot better than we originally thought, for sure. Currently I like it more than Ashika. I think Ashika got too much hate. It was I don't know, it wasn't that bad. Certain POIs were miserable at Castle and shit, but a lot of people, I've been seeing on Twitter lately that like people have said that Ashika has been the worst Resurgence map they've released. I don't know. I mean, maybe technically, but the Resurgence maps have been good. Rebirth was good. Fortune's Keep was good. I think Ashika's
better than Fortunes.
I like Ashika better than Fortunes, I think. Yeah, and I also liked Fortunes. So I don't know. I think Ashika gets too much hate. I think it's just because it's part of Warzone 2. People just automatically hate on it more. But from what I've been seeing on Twitter, the vast majority of people seem to prefer Vondel. So it plays well. I'm getting used to it, learning how to play. It's more fun, too, I think, because you do have to think more. And that's what I'd said early on, is like it's a mix between Battle Royale and Resurgence. It feels more like a BR map where you have to make like smart decisions, like when to rotate, when to stay on buildings, when to jump off of buildings. But also you can just turn your brain off and just push things or whatever. But if you can like play more for a win on this than like Ashika, I think, because you can just set up yourself to be in a good position, a good rooftop or something early on, and really hold that position, I think. So it's a good mix. I think it's a really fun map. I like it more and more every time I play it. Really good, I think. And then they've added the other stuff now. So the reinforcement flare is in. I like that. It's rare enough that there's no issues with it. They're not real easy to find.
Have you tried shooting it in a building?
You
that
can't.
was one of
it
our
will not
questions.
let you. Yeah. It will not let you. It's something about like this item cannot be deployed here.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think that's cool. The water taxi is in, which is much worse than I believe both of us thought it was going to be. There is one of them on the map. I've only ever seen one. There's a buy station on it. It goes really fast, but I'm pretty sure.
Also, you have like 10 frames per second on it.
Yeah, that was bugged too. Well, that was when.
Oh fuck.
That was when it was just that stationary one. Now it actually moves around the map. I haven't been on it since it moves.
Oh, okay. I haven't either.
It goes really fast, and I think it works like when someone gets within a certain distance of it, slows down a lot, so you can jump on it, and then I guess you can jump on it and probably change the speed of it. But every time I've seen it, it's unlooted, unopened, rare orange chests, so I don't think people are using it. It's kind of a waste when there is one of them, and then also most of the circles still are on one small corner of the map. We had a circle earlier. None of the water taxi was like ever going to be in the zone because of the first circle location. So I don't know. I think there needs to be like 3 of them in order to make it usable. So those were kind of a waste. But the reinforcement flare is dope. I bought Jake back one of the last games we played. Jake got killed like right at the very end. We had 2 god-awful, terrible teammates with us who were shit-talking Jake and I the entire game, and they were miserable and they were pussies. It was me. Jake had just died. I was live with them. Some guy I killed had 2 reinforcement flares on him. So I'm like, oh, dope. So I got to just buy Jake right back at the end. So they're cute to have. I don't see any issues with them at all, I don't think. I think it's just good for the game. Keep it alive a little bit better at the end. Because people are coming back with, they're not fully plated. They have the shit gun, whatever they spawn in with. So it's not like it's broken or anything. It's fun.
That's good. Yeah, it's all, yeah, that's not surprising at all to me. It all depended on how many of them are floating around. And if it's not too many, then I think it's just a good addition. So that's cool. What else was I going to say? Yeah, one thing I'll just to cap this off, a lot of my first impressions changed about Vondel as we talked about. And I have a lot more of a positive association with Vondel now than when we recorded our last episodes on it. One thing I have not changed my opinion on and will never change my opinion on, my lips to God's ears. Floating District is still and will always be the worst POI of any Battle Royale map that's ever been made. That's still true. Really? That's never going to change. Unless they do like a nuclear winter LTM and all the water freezes over and you can walk on it.
Yeah.
That would be cool. And then maybe Floating District would be playable.
Wouldn't mind having that, yeah.
But I would love a nuclear winter for Infinity Ward specifically, and also for the map Vondel, yeah. But that is still the worst POI, bar none, easily, and it's still just as miserable and dog shit and trash as we talked about. And that's never going to change unless they suck the water out or freeze it. Yeah, that's never changing. And again, the devs should be drawn and quartered for having designed it. I can't imagine the thought process that went into making that location, and making it a multiplayer map, which is fucking hilarious. But anyway, overall, my impression on Vondel is much more positive than it was before. And I think a lot of that, again, it just has to do, one, with getting some familiarity, but I think mostly we just changed our play style, and that made the map a lot better. We adapted, which Joe Apricot would love to hear. So
yeah, simply adapt.
Here's the last question on this topic. Vondel or Ashika?
For me, Vondel right now.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's been really fun.
Do you think part of that is novelty, or do you just think it's a better map for you?
No, I just think, I don't know. I think it's got like the perfect amount of players on it. It's got a good flow. I don't know. I just like it right now.
I think I agree with you. And I think it is because of the reason you mentioned earlier, which is that it's a mix between BR and Resurgence. You do have to like rotate wisely. You have to think a little more. There are more long-range engagements, which is nice.
You have bigger rotations, too. That's why it actually feels different, because the map's larger, so you have to run further.
Really big rotations.
Which makes it feel more like BR, yeah.
Yeah. So I think for that reason, you're getting a nice little hint of BR. You need to employ some more strategy. But it's still Resurgence, so it's still like pretty casual and fun, which is kind of what we're looking for. We're in our 30s. But there is some strategy to be developed too. And on Ashika Island, that's somewhat true, but a lot less true than Vondel. On Ashika, it's usually pretty fucking obvious where you want to be for every circle.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. Whereas on Vondel, it's not quite as obvious. And the circles are bigger because it's a bigger map, obviously. So there are numerous good spots you could be in any given Vondel circle. And that's where the strategy comes in. Which of these good spots is best based on rotating out, getting to the next circle, whatever, enemy positions or whatever. But on Ashika, any given circle, it's like, okay, well, I mean, one of these places is high ground. One of these places has cover. It's kind of where we want to be. It's kind of it, you know? So that does add some depth to Vondel, I think, that Ashika doesn't have.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I agree with you. Next little point here is the new multiplayer maps are goo. Tell us about them.
Yeah, they're goo. Have you played either of them?
No.
Yeah, so Showdown,
after this.
Showdown I don't hate as much as I did in COD 4. I think it's actually a pretty good map. It looks good in this game. Pretty much exact same as COD 4, so not much to say there. It's better than I remember it being, though. It's definitely a playable map. But Kunstenar District, I think District, is that what it's called? I don't know. Actually a really, really fucking good map. Like one of the best maps in MW2 multiplayer, I think. I was very pleasantly surprised by it. Excellent layout, excellent design. So it's got 3 lanes, but like they're all, well, one of them is sloped, so it's not like you have super long sniping sight lines, so people can't really just sit on the end and snipe because it's like a sloped street.
That looked like the MW3 map.
Yes, the other lane has enough cover to like it's more flat since there's enough color or cover. Again, there's not super long sight lines. Mid plays excellent. It's basically there are 4 entrances to mid. One you have to jump downstairs. The other one you come through this little alleyway type thing. This other one you come down another staircase from one of the lane and it's another alleyway. It's just, I don't know, it flows really, really, really well. So if you guys need to like level up and do camo unlocks for the new guns, I would highly recommend playing Kunstenar District 24/7. Sure, shipment may be faster in theory, but shipment is just not even close to being fun whatsoever. So I would highly recommend doing this. I did this for most of my camo challenges and maxing out my, or leveling up my ISO 45, and I love it. So really good map. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. That's cool. That's good to hear. Yeah, I'm gonna be gaming after this pod. I want to work on my ISO as well.
Mine's Orion. What is yours?
Double Orion.
Nice, man.
Yeah, I'm working on the weapon charms, is what I mean. I obviously have Orion.
Oh,
I have Orion, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
What's your max weapon charm, by the way?
My max what?
Weapon charm.
All of them.
For your ISO.
Yeah.
All of them, huh?
Yeah.
That's your max one, is all of them? That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I have every weapon charm in the game.
Got it. What was I gonna say? Fuck me.
You're fucking dog shit trash.
It kind of reminds me of, at least one of the screenshots reminds me of, what was the, like, Russian hotel in Cold War? Was it called Hotel Royale? Oh, Moscow, maybe.
Moscow. It doesn't play like that whatsoever. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Got it. Dog shit, so yeah.
Does it play like the MW3 map it looked like?
No, it just kind of looked like that from that one screenshot. It's really good. I really enjoyed it.
Solid though.
It's
I'll give it a little try.
It was fun for Dom, and I think Dom was Hardpoint was really fun on it too. I don't know, it's just a really good map. It would have been a fun map to see them play in CDL, I think. Like I don't know if they would like it for their style, but I think it would be a good like Hardpoint map. So
okay,
it's fun. Really pleasantly surprised with that map.
Yeah, so there we go. Anyway, moving on. There were a couple changes to the ranked Warzone rule set recently. One of them was an outright banning of Dragon's Breath rounds, or did they ban the whole shotgun actually.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Let me go look. I'm going to go take a little peek here. Who would have treated... So what was the new Twitter account? COD updates?
_esports.
Yeah, check that out.
They'll have it, I think. Maybe they won't, actually, because that's World Series of Warzone. So, yeah, maybe they won't. I don't know. Let's start going through the 10 different Call of Duty Twitter accounts.
Yeah.
Oh, COD updates will have it, right? No, that's usually just bug fixes, so it probably won't be on there. Let's see.
I'm on COD updates, and it's indeed not here, which is so insane.
Exactly.
So
okay, here we
cringe.
go. It's in the patch notes. They just updated the patch notes, so they did post it.
Oh, okay.
Warzone rank play restrictions. They restricted the KV broadside. They restricted Dragon's Breath ammo for all shotguns. And then, yeah, the explosive. That's weird. So the other shotguns you can still use.
Just not Dragon's
They honestly
Breath.
could have just left the broadside, I feel, and just taken away the drum mag if they were going to do something, but whatever.
That's what that was our original what's it called?
Like before they
recommendation.
ranked even dropped, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. When the KV broadside first came out, before it was ever nerfed, we were talking about, I don't know if you agreed with me, but I remember saying the best way to balance this gun is to just remove the 25 round drum mag.
Yeah.
And then it's like way more balanced. And of course they didn't do that because they hate keyboard and mouse, so they just removed it entirely.
I guess it does still have a
Warzone.
12, and honestly 12 is still a lot.
12 is still a lot.
Yeah, so
12 is often enough.
But yeah, so whatever, that's fine. They restricted it.
Yeah, I don't really care that they restricted it in ranked, because honestly, I do wonder how many people were even using that in ranked Moz. I think a pre any nerf KV broadside, I would still not use in ranked on Moz.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I think there are just better options. It doesn't have enough versatility for Moz for a secondary, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a weird change, but whatever. They also took out fucking explosive ammo, which is kind of insane.
They did. Yeah. In my opinion, I get if they didn't want it for World Series of Warzone, remove it from World Series of Warzone playlists, or when they play it that way, when they do their practice custom lobbies. It seems pretty fucking dumb that like maybe 10% of like the top 250 players think it should be removed from ranked play, and then they remove it. I don't know.
And maybe
it was more
of them
hated.
actually use it.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
It wasn't that used. There's just a few people I think that were very outspoken about it, and it got removed. So hey, here's the thing: if you're gonna restrict it from ranked, then buff the hell out of one-shot snipers for pubs.
That would be
just
nice.
Go back to what we did in Caldera. They can one-shot up to a certain range, or explosive can one-shot at any range, but you still have the bullet velocity penalty. I don't know. I wish they would do something different though, because I would love to use a one-shot sniper that's fun to use. But yeah, so they're restricted and ranked, whatever.
It's pretty dumb. I don't like it at all. One thing we're starting to see, and this is only going to continue to be the case, is much like CDL. We're going to just start seeing more and more restrictions on ranked Warzone. And it's going to look eventually, I think, like the difference between ranked multiplayer hardpoint and unranked multiplayer hardpoint. Meaning, in ranked multiplayer, you can use one of 2 kill streaks. You can use 5 guns, only 2 of which are good. And you can use only 3 perks. Whereas in pubs, you can use one of fucking 30 perks and 150 guns, etc. Which I guess kind of makes sense. But part of me was hoping that was not going to be the case. I guess it was always going to be the case, though. I guess it's okay. But the bigger thing for me is I just don't understand why they removed sniping. I mean, I kind of do, actually. One argument to removing one-shot snipers after the health buff is that they got better after the health buff. If there's more health,
yeah,
like we talked about, it is better getting an instant kill because everyone else takes longer to kill and you don't anymore if you're sniping. So that was like an inadvertent buff to sniping. However, again, I still think it was eminently. I still think snipers were underpowered. They're that difficult to use, and with 300 health, if you're not landing the headshot, you have to land even more sniper shots on the chest or whatever to get it down. And I just wish they didn't do that. And this is coming from someone, by the way, who does not use snipers because they're too dog shit and trash. It's like, I don't even use them, and I'm mad that they removed them from ranked. More because that means in the future, when they add new snipers to the game or think of adding new guns in general, they're just going to kind of skip over snipers now because they're not in ranked. They just like don't have to worry about one-shot snipers anymore. I think it's really dumb. And then you see signals. That's what's going to happen. So like, are they going to restrict signals now too? I don't know. It was not even remotely close to being overpowered and warranting a nerf.
And if it was really that good, every single player in the top 250 would be using it. It would be like the Car 98 or Swiss in Warzone 1.
Exactly.
But it was really like, how many percentage of top 250 players would run it on a game-to-game basis, like almost 100% of the time? What percentage of them would do that?
Maybe 10%.
Probably, it has to be less than 10%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think it was needed, but I didn't really do it anyways. So I think it's a dumb change, regardless.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving on. What's next here?
Yeah, moving on. This is pretty funny. So again, World Series of Warzone Opens were supposed to happen this weekend, actually. And they tweeted out yesterday, about an hour beforehand, that they've been postponed because guess what? There's another issue with the game, and that's their tracking issue, resulting in an inflated or inaccurate number of tracked eliminations represented in the scoreboard, after action report, and global combat stats. How do we not just get basic numbers right in this game?
It's
basic
crazy.
Numbers. How does a kill tracker not work in this game?
Yeah.
There's really just fucking nothing that works perfectly in this game. Not a single thing. So that's pretty crazy. And I guess I kept reading something. I don't know exactly what happened, but I just thought it was funny that, again, it's been postponed because of issues. But I guess, like, EU, they were already playing theirs, and they were, like, 4 hours into it, and they basically, this means
they
all
just
of it just... Exactly.
Oh, no.
And then people were like, cool, like, we scheduled this shit off of work or off of taking vacations, whatever it may be, to play this open, and then you postpone it in the middle of it. It's like, so cool. So you're going to give us, like, a week's notice of when the next one's going to be. What if people are out of town? What if people are somehow forced working and there's no way they can't get out of it?
Doctor appointment. Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Exactly.
Please make something with your video game work at some point. Figure it out. Game dev is hard. Don't care. That's your job. Figure out how to do it correctly. A lot of jobs are hard. Figure out how to do yours.
And also other companies can and do it reliably, consistently, and without issues, like ever.
Yeah.
Like, if Apex can run their servers constantly and their kill tracker never doesn't work, then you can too. I just don't accept the argument that that far too many people make on Twitter. Oh, but guys, developing a game is hard. I'm sure it is. Activision is also worth fucking $800 billion or some shit. They can do it. Other companies, smaller companies can do it. They can do it too. It's not that hard. It is hard for me, but luckily I'm not running Warzone 2.
Yeah, that'd probably be pretty hard for you.
They can do it easily.
You probably couldn't perform brain surgery either, but there are plenty of people that can do it, and they are brain surgeons. So you would think a game dev can do the job of a game dev, right? I don't know.
It's a great point.
Just fucking figure it out.
It's that simple.
You went to school for it or something, or you learned how to do it, so do it correctly. I don't have any sympathy for you, and fuck you, and fuck sympathy, game devs.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I have disdain and contempt for you if you're a dev working
game
in
dev
Infinity
haters,
Ward. Unironically, I hate Infinity Ward devs. Almost all of them probably are. I don't know if there's like a blameless iDub game developer working on Warzone 2. I think if your hands have touched that game, you are to blame partially.
You have blood on your hands, yeah.
You have blood on your hands. Yes,
you've led to like literal suicide probably, so yeah, keep that in mind.
Yeah, probably. You're certainly not helping the mental health crisis that's plaguing young men across the world.
You know, it's men's health month, isn't it, or some shit like that? Men's
mental health awareness.
Mental health. Yeah, Raven hasn't tweeted about that, even though kids are probably killing themselves because your game is dog shit trash. So yeah, keep that in mind.
Yeah. You guys need to.
It's rainbow flag though. Anyways.
So yeah, fuck
men,
Infinity Ward
yeah.
and fuck Activision and fuck men, I guess, if you work at Activision. So anyway. Speaking of the World Series of Warzone, there is some more drama. I'm sure there's a lot, honestly. The latest that we had talked about at length was scumming and all that shit. And I guess that's kind of settled now. But the latest I've heard of is Iceman Isaac, who was on a team for World Series of Warzone. By the way, we were talking about this before we went live. I have almost no details on this, and I'm going to talk about it anyway. So I saw a tweet that said Isaac was like looking for fucking, third or whatever. And it was a very polite tweet, but still, someone obviously got dropped from the team for that to be the case.
Yeah,
what did you say about Dexerto?
No, I was just because you said something about you don't know any of the facts, but we're going to talk about it anyways, and then I said call us Dexerto, yeah.
Oh, got it, yeah. So anyway, yeah, that happened, and then evidently on another piece of media that I won't name, the teammate that Isaac dropped was like shit talking Isaac on Pulse Check.
No, the teammate he was still with.
Oh, okay.
The teammate he dropped was Lucky, and I'm pretty sure Lucky responded to that tweet. He's like, yeah, all good. He's like, we just didn't necessarily perform the best as a team. Like, still love these guys, blah, blah. I'm looking for one if anyone wants to pick me up. Yeah, but I guess then the guy Isaac was with, I guess them two have now split up, and they were like good friends kind of IRL. Like, they've met up numerous times. I think they both live in... Isaac lived in Vegas. I think he lives in Texas now. That's where a lot of these...
What's his we'll post his address in the show
Yeah,
notes.
Of course the address will be posted, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a joke, of course. We wouldn't know his address, and we would never tell you if we did, so...
We could find out, though.
Anyone could find out if you want to, yeah, probably. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, so I guess
you guys
now...
should look up Iceman Isaac's home address.
You need to stop. So yeah, I guess there's some drama with that now, too. We don't know any of the info, but we're talking about it because we're Dexerto. But yeah, so I guess they're like splitting up now too, and they were shit talking each other, and Exact said something along the lines of like, you're just trying to stir up drama because your gun skill is you've lost your gun skill or shit like that.
Black helicopters.
The TLDR is the Warzone ranked and Warzone World Series of Warzone drama is really interesting to listen to. It's great.
I told you guys.
It's always great, yeah.
It's always fantastic, and I told you more.
And all of you love drama.
And all of you love drama, yes, as do we. Yeah, so I don't know. I kind of wanted to point this out because it's funny, and because I just wanted to highlight once again, with ranked Warzone and with World Series of Warzone, there's gonna be drama, and here's the latest kind of outcropping of that, which is fascinating, frankly, and always entertaining. I did not watch Exact, which I guess is his current former teammate, shit talking him, but I did see some tweets about it, and not terribly surprised. The one thing I did have to say on this topic is that if Iceman Isaac, Exact, that's the guy's name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's his real life friend.
Yeah.
Okay. So Iceman Isaac is like my age, I think. He's in his 30s. So those are grown-ass men, right? And he has a real life friend that he was on a World Series of Warzone team with. And also, let's be super clear. Iceman Isaac, good player. Good at Warzone. Solid player. has great videos with tips and tricks on how to do well in Warzone. I think that's how he got popular, in fact, in Verdansk. Is he ever gonna win the World Series of Warzone? No. No, and obviously not. He has to know that. Everyone else knows that. He's not even remotely fucking close to being a contender for the top 5 teams in World Series of Warzone. And if you replaced him with the worst teammate on the best World Series of Warzone team, right? So if he took the slot of the worst player on the top current World Series of Warzone team, and therefore he had 2 of the other best players in the whole fucking tournament on his team, his presence there would ruin that team. It would torpedo them, and they would no longer be the best team. Because is he good by Call of Duty video game player standards? Sure. Is he good by like professional tournament Warzone player standards? No. He's not even fucking close. So I find it very strange that a 30-year-old plus man who has a real life friend who's lived with this person for some time, by the way, is willing to sabotage an IRL friendship, a man in his 30s, for an opportunity to compete in a tournament that he'll never win anyway, no matter who his teammates are. I find it very immature and strange. Now, again, I know no details, so maybe I've gotten some details wrong. But if I haven't, then that's shocking to me. Because as someone who is about his age, I cannot conceive of ruining one of the few real-life friendships anyone in their 30s has left for a better teammate in World Series of Warzone to get me to 20th place instead of 30th place. That is crazy to me. And that's the most surprising and interesting detail in this whole story. Because if Isaac was fucking Aiden and they were trying to find a third teammate, okay, you know what? Aiden could win the whole goddamn thing. So his third teammate is actually really important for him, because that could be the difference between winning the tournament and not. That is not true for Isaac, and he has to know that, right? He's good. He's better than I am. He's not competing in the World Series of Warzone, though. He's just not. So does he not know that, or does he not care that he can't win, and he cares that much about doing better even though it won't get him top 5 either way? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if these guys actually think they have a chance. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you get into the tournament, everyone has a chance. Especially when it comes to LAN, because some people just would get super nervous in person and do shit, or the closet wallers will fall apart and not know how to play, so...
Yeah, but we know that's not going to happen with like Aiden's team and
oh yeah, no, of course not.
Symphony's team.
You know? The only thing is they want to get a certain placement to make some money, because the way the World Series of Warzone plays out is I'm pretty sure like the top 40 teams make money.
Yeah,
so true. They could make a little bit of cash. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. I think just everyone thinks they have a chance of winning. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, there will be a lot more coming out, too, because I think something to do with, because they delayed the openers, I think the rosters were locked or something, and now they're opened again, or the lock has been delayed a little bit longer or something. I don't know, so there's going to be some more shit with that, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, so, anyway, I don't know. Pretty weird.
And then on to some other shit. So the CDL Grand Finals in Las Vegas was last weekend. That's where I went. I wasn't actually in the Zion of the Pacific Ocean. I was in Las Vegas for the CDL tournament. I did a meet and greet, signed a bunch of autographs. It was sickening how many people wanted to meet me.
Spit in J-God's face.
Oh my God, it was so sickening, the amount of people, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the CDL tournament was going on, the grand finals, and some kid named Jimbo, who was in the Challengers League, which is, you're in the league below the CDL. So you play at these LANs. People from Challengers often get picked up and picked by CDL teams to play in the CDL next year if they're that good. This dude live at the tournament, his account was banned by Activision.
Whoa.
Banned live during mid-match too. Mid-match in a tournament, his account was perma-banned. And this just so happened to be when they were doing a ban wave, I guess. So he wasn't cheating at the LAN, but he's been cheating online. And I guess some people have thought this for a while, that he's been like walling or shit like that. So sure enough, this guy's been cheating the whole time, shows up to LAN, doesn't cheat. I don't know how he was performing, but he got banned live. Fuck, that is so funny. And he I don't know what he said since, actually. Let me see if
he tried to wiggle out of it on Twitter. I saw like a tweet or two.
That was like right
the latest is on that.
Oh yeah, he hasn't tweeted in 8 days now. Last he said was right after he got banned. He says, Activision said they'll unban me. No reason why I got banned. And yeah, that's a good
tweet, yeah. Maybe because you were cheating, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty funny. Pretty cool. So yeah, banned live at a LAN tournament. I really wonder if someone for World Series of Warzone is going to get banned or something during the grand finals.
I would love another live ban in the World Series of Warzone. That would be spicy.
I would love for whoever wins the tournament to like a week later, them find out they were cheating. Just blow up Activision, Yeah. Oh, that would just blow it all up. That would be great.
Yeah. To give Activision their credit, though, if he was actually banning, which we're going to get into, it looks like he indeed, or cheating, excuse me, like he indeed was. Good for them for their system actually fucking catching someone and banning them. That's good. I like that. But also, how did he make it to challengers, A little late.
And he's been doing this for a while, I guess. There. Yeah, because it was funny, too, because Censor retweeted something that Jimbo tweeted at him in like March or April.
Oh, no.
And it was like a screenshot of Jimbo's team beating him. And he's like, he said something about like, someone needs to replace Lady Censor or something like that, like basically shit talking him. So Censor retweeted that now, and he's like, funny, the guy shit talking me for beating me months ago just so happened to be cheating the entire time.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty ironic. Yeah, so he's not getting unbanned anytime soon. He is permanently banned. He was absolutely cheating. So as they always say, as cliche as it sounds, if you're playing in these tournaments, if you're caught cheating, you will eventually get caught. You will eventually.
100%.
You may be able to get away with it for like 2 years, but you will get caught at some point, and then all of that will be ruined, and you'll be back to working the drive-thru at fast food restaurant because you wasted your time cheating. When you're obviously talented enough, you have the skill to do it, but you want that extra advantage. You already have the PEDs. You're on a controller. What more do you need? Why else do you need to cheat?
Exactly.
You got the PEDs. You're already legally cheating. Just stick with that. So yeah, and then he just throws away everything. Everything.
Yep. His internet career is over forever. It's that simple. If he was a streamer, I don't know if he was a streamer. I'm assuming he was.
Sure, he streamed an amount.
He's in challengers, so that's kind of like, I don't know. It's not like a big fucking thing. But by the way, imagine cheating and not being able to get into the CDL. It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah,
I think
get absolutely shit on, I guess.
Being a challenger little shitter, even though you're fucking walling. Like, how is that possible, man? Can't even cheat and get in the league. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Also, what do these people think is going to happen? Like, oh, I'll get to the CDL because I'm cheating, but then once I'm on LAN and I don't have cheats anymore, I'm going to perform fine, smile. Aren't you worried that like you're going to be the worst teammate that Optic has ever picked up for every LAN since you won't be able to cheat on LAN?
Yeah.
Like, don't these people worry about that? It's like lying on your resume to get a job, like being a cardiothoracic surgeon's assistant in the operating room.
Yeah.
And they say, like, hand me the 6-iron or whatever tools they use. And you don't know what it is. And you're like, because you lied on your resume and said you were an assistant for another surgeon for 10 years. Aren't you worried about that happening to you?
Yeah.
Because I would be. I don't know. These people are wild. But anyway, fuck Jimbo.
Get shit on Jimbo, you stupid
and
fucking
get gapped
kid.
And shit on, you stupid little bitch. And you're not good enough at video games, and all the time you've spent doing scrims is a waste. You could have been learning a skill, advancing in a career. reading a book, but instead you were doing scrims because you thought this is going to pay off eventually. Because I'm going to make it in the CDL and then I'm going to be on fucking phase.
And the CDL
Wrong,
is
bitch.
like...
You wasted all that time.
There's
Fuck
a
you.
LAN like every month. Yeah, what would you think was going to happen when you
That's
get there?
what I don't understand. Yeah, I just don't get the impulse there at all. Like, cheating in Warzone makes way more sense to me than cheating
like
for
fucking
multiplayer.
crazy in Warzone, yeah.
Yeah.
There's maybe one LAN every 2 years, maybe.
Exactly. And you can just say I choked. But like...
For
multiplayer, like you said, you're right. There's so many LANs. You can't do that. You're going to get caught. Even if you don't get caught cheating, people are going to notice you never do well on LAN and you only do well online. They're going to like figure it out. The people are so dumb and dog shit.
It's always these dumb children, yeah. They're not 18 yet. They don't realize what a stupid decision that is.
Yeah, so Censor added on to this and said he spoke directly to the source who banned Jimbo. The dev's words to me were, quote, "We evaluated his account on the back end, and in result, we decided to ban him. I relayed to PR, and they will handle it." So he was like confirmed cheating, yeah. Yeah. It's just something to keep in mind. So, cool. And then last little item we want to talk about, little news item. Again, this is not a comprehensive episode. We're not covering every news item that happened, nor every patch or update or whatever. We'll get back into the swing of that next week. But I don't think this is a big story, but some people do. Call of Duty has tweeted, Warzone 1 has an end date. And it's pretty soon, I guess. I don't know the date because I don't care. But Warzone
September 21st.
Pretty fucking soon. They are shutting off Warzone 1 servers. You will never be able to play Warzone 1 again. And some people are a little upset about this.
A lot of people. I would say most people are upset about it, yeah.
I'm pretty surprised that they're doing it. I'm not surprised people are upset. And I'm not mad that they're doing it. That would be my position. Although it is kind of weird.
It's very weird for a game to shut down its servers like this, yeah. They also say, quote, as of September 21st, 2023, Call of Duty Warzone Caldera will shut down as our teams focus on future Call of Duty content, including current Warzone free-to-play experience. Here's the thing. There is no team working on Caldera. They don't do anything to it.
That's correct.
They're just saying, they're just lying to you like they always do. They have no people working on it. So I think really what they're saying is it takes up too many servers. I don't know how that would work. Too much infrastructure is wasted on hosting servers for this game when there's not a big player base for it anymore. You could hate Warzone 2 all you want. Caldera is not popular at all anymore.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
So it's obviously not that. It's not like there are people patching it and doing shit to it every single day. So I don't know. That, and they want more people to try to play Warzone. And by September, they're thinking Warzone 2 will be in a overall well-liked state. And then the next game will be coming out soon. So there will be hype. And they definitely don't want people comparing it to Warzone 1 at all when the next iteration or the add-on of Warzone 2 comes later this year with the, MW 3, whatever they're doing this year. So it's probably just all that. They want people to play it and don't have something else to go back to.
I agree. The theory online about why they're doing this, most people are not bringing up infrastructure costs from what I've seen. That's probably part of it because, they're probably losing money running Warzone 1. Because they're probably not selling any microtransactions anymore, but they still have to run the servers. So they're probably losing money on Warzone 1. That would be one reason to shut it down. But they're probably not losing a very significant amount of money. So the theory everyone is peddling about why they did this is because they want people who are currently playing Warzone 1 to go play Warzone 2. That is wrong, obviously, because if someone's playing Warzone 1 right now, at this point, they're never going to play Warzone 2. So if they shut off the Warzone 1 servers, it's not going to make those people go play Warzone 2. They've already obviously tried Warzone 2.
I think some of them will.
And signed off on it. I don't think so.
Because they also haven't played it in a long time. They haven't realized the game does feel vastly different from how it did when the game launched. They just, wrote it off like a lot of people did.
They probably will continue to write it off, though. They tried it. They hated it. It did change a lot, but they're not going to try it again.
But what is that person going to play? A person playing a fast-paced BR like that? Example. What are they going to go play? What?
Well, Iron is a case study. He was playing
Iron's
Warzone 2.
a fucking nerd, yeah, but continue.
Well, everyone playing Warzone 1 is. He was playing Warzone 2. He didn't like it. So then he started streaming Caldera for like a couple weeks. And now he's not even playing Caldera. They haven't even shut the servers down yet. Now he's playing the bullshit. What's the game?
PUBG?
Yeah, PUBG.
Yeah, Iron's a super
he's not
nerd.
Coming
I
back
think
to
he's
Warzone
a little bit
2.
different. Yeah. But I think a lot of them will, if they're looking for like a fast-paced BR type experience, there's nothing else out there. Warzone 2 would be the closest thing. Those people aren't going to go play X-Defiant because they like battle royales.
Yeah,
so I think eventually they would they're going to say they're not going to play Warzone 2, but they'll eventually give it a shot and they'll be like, okay, it's not as bad as it was when the game launched. I still preferred Warzone 1, but this is the closest thing I can get now, so I'm just going to play this.
I think for some people that's going to be true. I don't think it's going to be the majority of people playing Warzone 1 currently. But more importantly, the bigger point I was trying to make is that even if everyone playing Warzone 1 right now would go play Warzone 2 if they shut off access to Warzone 1, that's not why Activision did it. Because like there aren't many people playing Warzone 1. They don't really care that much to get an extra 10 people over to Warzone 2 if it was even going to work.
Well, Activision is actually paying kids online to stream snipe Iron, so
that's correct, to get them to play Warzone 2. Yeah, and that's super real and not an insane cockamamie conspiracy theory. I think the real reason that they're going to do this, I think it's probably a confluence of all of these things, but I think the biggest reason rather is that they want Warzone 1, they want that chapter fucking closed well before the new map comes out, like you said. I think that's the biggest thing, is they want to be like, all right, that's why they're not shutting it down now or in like July, They're like, all right, we'll let you guys have your fun. By September, we're shutting it down, and then by November or whatever, the new Warzone 2 map is going to come out, and we don't want to have to we don't want people comparing it to Warzone 1. We don't want to have to deal with running the servers anymore or thinking about it or patching it or whatever. I think they just kind of want to tie up as many loose ends as they can before they do that very big new launch they're going to do. I think that's the main reason they're going to be shutting down the servers.
Yeah.
Something Swag said, by the way, on Twitter, which I found kind of weird since he doesn't play Warzone 1 anymore either. He tweeted and said, by the way, he quote tweeted the announcement, and he said by the way, I can still play Blackout on Black Ops 4 right now, but I won't be able to play Warzone 1. That's pretty weird. And I was like, that is kind of weird. Well, I guess you could technically play Blackout right now.
It's not that weird because Blackout is tied to Black Ops 4, though. It's just a game mode for BO4. So people saying that, it's like, yeah, but it's just a game mode for Black Ops 4, technically, whereas Warzone was its own standalone thing.
Kinda.
I mean, no, they untied it from MW19 after, the first year or something.
Oh,
it's been a standalone. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
It's been considered a standalone for at least more than half of its cycle. Well, more than half of it, so it is a standalone game. That's the thing,
I guess.
Because Blackout, you can't just play, right? I think you have. I mean, maybe you don't. Can you just load up Blackout and play? I don't think you can. You have to buy BO4.
Yeah. So anyway, other than that, anything else you want to talk about? You fucking bitch.
Nope.
I'm done. So, Patreon.com/thedropshot, free trials for the month of June. That's ending soon, obviously, so capitalize while you can. We do 5 bonus episodes a month, and then all patrons also get early access to our public episodes, and they get ad-free episodes as well. So check it out. We got a lot more coming for this month, and then normal schedule next week. You can find our schedule every Monday on our Twitter at the Dropshot Pod. Give us a follow. Or in our Discord, which you can find a link to and a link to everything Indeed at thedropshot.com, which is our website. We have the YouTube, we have the scheduled streams there as well. Stay humble.
Stay humble.